Almost as noteworthy as the arraignment of a former president in a Miami court Tuesday was what news cameras captured afterward: prayer for the former president. When Trump met with supporters at a local restaurant.
And Father, we thank you that you've given us President Trump.
But at a fundraising event later in New Jersey, Trump called Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith a lunatic and a thug.
The prosecutor in the case, I will call it our case, is a thug. I've named him Deranged Jack Smith.
Trump pled not guilty to all 37 counts at his arraignment, including the willful retention of national defense information, withholding or concealing documents in a federal investigation, false statements, and conspiracy to obstruct justice.
Threatening me with 400 years in prison for possessing my own presidential papers. We witnessed the most evil and heinous abuse of power in the history of our country. Very sad thing to watch.
CBN News chief political correspondent David Brody says the indictment has made Trump even stronger.
We're living in an America where you have a former president of the United States under indictment, and he's getting stronger in the polls. Why is that exactly? Well, here's the answer. We have lost trust in our public institutions.
But Trump's former Attorney General Bill Barr says in this case he is no victim.
I defend the president on Russiagate. I stood up and called out Alvin Bragg's politicized hit job. And I have spoken out for 30 years about the abuse of the criminal justice process to influence politics. But this is simply not true. This particular episode of trying to retrieve those documents, the government acted responsibly, and it was Donald J. Trump who acted irresponsibly.
But legal scholar John Malcolm says the very different way Hillary Clinton's alleged misuse of classified materials was handled shows him the Justice Department has not been neutral.
Her server was never seized. There was never a search warrant executed. She was never charged. Her attorneys were allowed to go through the material and turn over whatever they were going to turn over. And then they wiped her hard drive clean and destroyed her cell phones.
In a Miami press conference ahead of Trump's arraignment, fellow GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy repeated his pledge to pardon Trump if elected.
I have demanded that every other candidate in this race either sign this commitment to pardon on January 20th, 2025, or else to explain why they are not.
But some of Trump's rivals are not supporting the president, saying the charges are serious and the case needs to play out in court. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, the charges are serious, and this case absolutely will play out in court. It'll be in a court in Florida. And the whole nation will be watching what the court does, and how will this case be dealt with. But the erosion of trust of our criminal justice system is absolutely profound in America. And you see it both in terms of all the riots that happen, the mistreatment of the African American community, but also the double standard when it comes to politics, when it comes to people who are supposedly on the inside. And I'll just point out a few cases. You've already heard about Hillary Clinton, how she handled classified information, how she had her own private server, all of these things. In the aftermath, some devices erased. You've got Mike Pence having classified information at his house. You've got our current president having classified information in a garage in a vacation home. And there's no action at all against them. But let's go back to Lois Lerner. Here is someone who's in the exempt division of the IRS. She was open about it. She said, I blocked Tea Party committees from getting tax exemption, and I did it in the 2012 election. So here she is admitting doing something that was against her oath of office, and there was no action at all, nothing whatsoever, and she's still collecting a pension that you and I are paying for. These things make no sense to me, and the erosion of trust is absolutely profound today. We have to absolutely have an FBI and a Justice Department that are completely independent of politics. And I think we can all agree, well, that's not happening right now.